Hello YouTube, this is a video for the School of Engineering for the University of Greenwich. This video will show a disassembly of an 9G TowerPro MicroServo. So this MicroServo has 3 wires, you can see. It has a red, a brown and an orange. Red is the positive, brown is the ground and yellow is the control signal. The idea is that if you manage to connect the servo the wrong way around, positive always remains in the middle. So to start the disassembly, I will need to remove this piece, because this is the piece that gets in the way when you try to remove it. So in the servo, it's held together with these 4 screws on the bottom, and then it all comes apart as a sandwich. So first of all, we need to remove the little gear. So let's remove that. So there's that. So there's a screw that holds that on. So that gives us this. As you can see, the gear and all of the internal gearbox. So then we need to remove these 4 screws. So they're long screws that go all the way through the housing, linking from the front to the back. Very small screws. Well, they don't actually come out, they're held in, but so there's the rear housing removed. As you can see before I remove it, this is, so there is the motor, there's the control board, and this is obviously the connector. So there's the top to come off, which is why I need to remove the gear from the top. So here you can see closely, you can see the output shaft or gear. This is the controlling gear. This is the potentiometer gear here, and this is the motor. Sorry, actually that is the motor and that's the potentiometer shaft. They're actually well placed together. And they're very greasy as well, because obviously the gears will chatter if not. So that's removing the main gear. Now in this gear, you can see there's an end stop. Now this stops the servo over going too far. So when it reaches a point, it will stop. So this controls the maximum rotation. Now some people cut these off so the motor or the servo can continually rotate, but I won't be doing that. So again, another gear, again, another gear. Another gear. I don't know if you can see, but as I say, they're covered in like a Vaseline, like a little thing. So there's a shaft, which the gears obviously sit on. So now looking in the top view, you can see the top of the potentiometer and the gear for the motor. So let's rotate it. So underneath we have the control board, which manages the motor control, as well as the potentiometer, which manages the stop by resistance and feedback, and the actual motor control itself. So here's the board. So on this board it's likely got some form of decoder and H-bridge driver to control the motor. That converts the PWM signal which comes in, and then it converts it to a level which it can then use to drive the motor clockwise or anti-clockwise. And the potentiometer is measuring feedback, so therefore that stops it either place because it controls the voltage. So let's see if we can separate these pieces. would seem I can't actually get those apart. Oh, there's a clip in there that holds the potentiometer in, so that's going to be an interesting item to get out. So I guess I can only go forward, which indeed it does. So as you can see, there's the potentiometer coming out. So that's that side of it. And then the motor has no choice but to go backwards. So let's just snip those off. This one, always one. So that's that one. So again, here, as I say, here's the potentiometer, which is used as the reference, which is linked into the gearbox. Yeah. So what's left in our housing now is the housing itself, the control board, which I will now snip out as well. So there's the motor. There we go. That's the control board. Which I'm going to disconnect the other cables from. So that leaves us with the cable, the control board, sit there, and just the final part of the motor. Now, I can only assume that the motor's glued in the housing. I don't see any obvious way to remove it. There we go. Pushing hard on the motor. Let's push it out. So there's we are. There's the top housing, and there's the motor unit. So that is the complete disassembly of the TowerPro MicroServo even 9G. Thank you for watching.